Welcome back to another Afterdark series. I'm Alexis Soto, and I'm joined by Peter Martinez.
Hello.
And we have a Afterdark reaction to what I can only assume was a film. The film, quote-unquote, was titled Midsommar. And it was directed, and I would assume also written by, well, maybe that's too much an assumption, but I would say directed by Ari Aster, who was responsible for bringing last year's, I would say, critically acclaimed Hereditary, which was also among our favorites of last year. And equally, maybe in more ways in this movie than last year's entry, I arrive at this After Dark completely and utterly speechless.
Is that how you felt about the film?
Well, right now I don't know what to say.
These are the kind of films I think you kind of have to sit on a little bit and think about.
They're definitely not like walking out of a Marvel or a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. And it's like you will think about them, even if you don't want to. They're pretty imprinted onto your brain.
For better or for worse.
For worse. I don't know. I'll say I think it was an incredibly well-made film.
I want to completely agree with that.
Okay.
I agree 100%. It was a very well-made film, and it really, I think, shows the mark in terms of how it was shot, in terms of how it looked, the framing, the production design, the cinematography, the score. I thought all came from a director that knows how to really shoot and make a hell of a movie.
I feel as if the acting was good as well.
I agree.
I really like the acting.
Well, that pissed me off in certain areas, but I mean, that was meant to piss you off.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But
I think it's very clearly a film about a breakup, so to speak.
Isn't that giving it a little bit away, though?
Oh, spoilers.
Not yet. Though.
Okay, but that was the only spoiler. And in that aspect, I thought it was pretty amazing. Like, especially like the first third or half. A lot of the dialogue, I'm like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And it's not even anything scary.
Especially the first half?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought you meant the latter half. The
No,
first half was very awkward and uncomfortable. And I think, suffice to say, there are characters in this that are played in a way in which the director is trying to make you, let's just say, like certain people more than others.
Yeah. Just off the top of my head, I have a few negatives, and they'll probably be the same.
For you and me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I don't know, maybe not.
Well, how do we feel about this? I feel...
Overall, I liked it. Because I thought it was a good film.
Yeah.
Like, really good. Like, it took me on a very emotional roller coaster. As Hereditary did. I like Hereditary better. I think it was a better film. But this film, also I think really good. I find, you know what? I find it similar to Jordan Peele's Get Out versus Us.
Both good films.
Both good films. The second one I like a little less, and there's a few more problems I had than I had with the first one. But both, I think, very good films. And very well made.
I agree. In terms of quality, I think it should be left on the table. It should be pretty much definitively stated or said that this was a masterful film in terms of like how it was presented
Yeah.
and in terms of what it was going for,
Mm-hmm.
which you might want to, I don't know, the subject matter going into this, as far as I was aware of, if you've seen the trailers for Midsommar or interested, that was very much obviously expecting a cult. Not getting into spoilers right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you might have given a little bit away in terms of what you described it as a breakup movie.
No. I mean, you get that in like the first 5 minutes. You get a lot in the first 5 minutes.
Do,
Did you?
I don't know right now if I liked it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good film. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought it did what a movie is supposed to do, and what you say is like, is it doing what it's setting out to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it did that pretty successfully in terms of what it was trying to make you feel.
Do you want to go into spoilers?
Is there anything left how did this movie, what did this movie leave you with kind of feeling? You liked it, but like...
Yeah.
Would you consider this among the more disturbing movies of the year?
Well, yeah. You know, this and Toy Story 4.
Yeah. Get into the spoilers.
Okay. It's very much a breakup movie. I think it does a fantastic job. Like, script-wise, like, dialogue and acting-wise, in, like, the first half, their interactions I thought were perfect. As, like, a bad couple goes, you know? I thought all of that was fantastic. Yeah, and it's really, like, this girl that just falls apart in a shitty relationship, and then she finds a new home, a new family. They're a little quirky, you know?
We're not going to have enough time to get into it because this is already dying.
I know.
And this is Kyle Lira's fault again. And I have to say it here. Because,
oh, yeah, it's Kyle's fault.
I tell him every single time to charge the camera. And he never charges the camera. I think you just open the camera and you think that you have 3 bars and it's going to... No. You need to get a new camera, Kyle. This is me telling you. Maybe you'll find out if
He's
you
not
ever
going to
watch
watch this.
We better watch it because I'm kind of upset here. Because, I mean, there are...
Yeah. There's a lot that we could go into this.
But we can't. We can't get into this. So what I will direct you people now, go listen to Red Spotlight Entertainment, the podcast, where Peter and I will talk about Hereditary, where thankfully we'll have much more time to go into depth. But the gist of what you need to know is that there's some fucked up shit in this movie.
Yeah.
There is some real artsy-fartsy crap that happens in here. If you like that, go for that. If you don't, stay the fuck away from this movie. This is not the movie that... It ain't a feel-good movie. It ain't a feel-good horror movie. It ain't a fun horror movie like Us or Get Out.
No.
I loved Hereditary because it's my favorite horror movie of the last, I don't know how many years. But that one I see myself revisiting several times. I never see myself watching this movie ever again.
I can see that.
I never need to watch this. It's kind of like 12 Years a Slave. Saw it once. I never need to see it again.
Yeah, there's some films that are really good, but they're also torturous, and they just, like, bring down your soul. So you're like, once was enough. I saw it, it's good. I can see that. I can maybe rewatch this, just because some of the parts were funny.
Yeah. Well, they were.
And yeah, out of curiosity, but yeah, it's a pretty fucked up film, but also a really well-made film.
Yeah.
So if you can get past that, but you're a fan of movies and old school horror, go see it.
It's going to be interesting to see how this movie is analyzed and examined going forward. But definitely, I think I would overall win. Very well made film, very good film. The like part. I
say it's positive. I say go see it with an asterisk.
Yeah.
And if you know yourself, you know whether you can handle it or not. So,
I did find myself oddly smiling at the end.
with the protagonist. Oh yeah.
There's just a piece of shit in this movie that I'm so glad. I'm thankful. Finally, I see a movie where the worst kind of human being gets their just desserts.
Well, I guess we see which side you took in the breakup.
Oh yeah. I actually did not feel the slightest bit of sympathy.
Okay.
Did you?
I think in the beginning they played it better. Towards the end, it got a little worse, but then you're like, it kind of has to for the decision she makes at the end. So.
Yes.
Again, we'll get into it more in another...
Right, in the actual review on the podcast. Quick question before we go, because we both saw, I would say, I'm trying to think of if this is the winner for the most disturbing film of the year or Leaving Neverland. And that's hard, right?
Well, I mean, real life is always... more just...
These rituals apparently were...
They did happen, apparently, in the past.
This story was made up, but the rituals were real, by a real cult, apparently. So.
Yeah, and his dedication to realism when it comes to this kind of shit is really fucking creepy. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. You feel like you're a part of the cult. Which I think adds to the creep factor.
Yeah.
With that, I don't know. I'm not touching that question with a 10-foot pole.
Well, that's going to be it for this After Dark. I'm sorry we're not going to get into more in depth on this video. You can blame Kyle Lira for that. But then also, we kind of don't want to talk about this a little bit right now. I'm a little uncomfortable.
You kind of gotta soak in that shit, and then.
So I'm not sure how useful this would be, but I guess stay tuned for every podcast on every Sunday with me, Peter, and Kyle, and any other person, and then we will have the next After Dark. I assume will be The Lion King. The jury still will be a part of that show, but we'll see about that.
Sorry, I retract my answer. The Lion King is the most disturbing film of 2019.
All right, I guess this is what Kyle does. He just...
Yeah.
All right.